I need to know everything, who and the what and the where I need.
Hello, welcome to another episode of The Works, where we find the work, does the work, give other people that work. And today we're going over the next segment of the What I Love About. And today we'll be covering what I love about A$AP Rocky. A$AP Rocky is someone who I've been listening to since 2012, 2011 really. When he first came on the scene with his mixtape and his song, with Purple Swag, with Peso, and for me, I just loved his style. I loved his flow. I loved the originality he would have with his music, and also the dark synths that he would bring into his songs at that time. It was very reminiscent of what I saw early on from Travis Scott for me. So regardless, I really love A$AP Rocky there, but where I really fell in love with him is the style. And that's what we'll talk about today. We're going to talk about AWGE, which is Rocky's personal creative brand. A$AP Ferg came out and said it kind of, in a sense, one of the things it may stand for is A$AP Worldwide Global Entertainment. Now, that hasn't been confirmed by A$AP Rocky, but that's just something that we've been going with for the time being. What AWGE has on its site, when you type it in, awge.com, it pulls up this TV. It has a few buttons, it's the shop, a contact now, A$AP Rocky personally. It has his music videos, just a few things, A$AP Rocky. But the layout of the website is very, very unique. That's something that I really like because you can tell he influenced a lot of the style on his website. There you'll find a lot of his collaborations, including a lot of Lone t-shirts, hoodies, and as I mentioned, his music videos, some really popular ones. And just a little random paraphernalia that is basically all A$AP Rocky. And if you're a fan, I'm sure it's a website you'll really love. So again, go to awge.com. It's not a sponsorship or anything, but it's just a really cool website that if you're thinking of making your own website for fashion or just creative in general, it's a great place to start on finding what you like and your individual style. But the main thing I want to talk about is just A$AP Rocky's style and sense. A couple of things he does really well that I like would be his ability to cross white and black, and then also how he's able to fit his streetwear influence from the 90s into what he likes now. For example, a few years back, he was able to do a really big collaboration with Guess, which he said was a great influence on what he would wear growing up in the 90s. Now he's able to collaborate with them. Original item is currently sold out, but I'm sure you can find a lot of them for resale on your sites like StockX or Grailed or even Depop. But what it comes down to is he was able to make this collaboration with a brand he really loved. I really respect how he started off with something he was familiar with, and he was able to get the attention of someone he's familiar with. Now, obviously, it's not something that happened before he became A$AP Rocky, before he was this hip hop mogul designer, before he was killing it in hip hop that he is now. But nonetheless, once you got there, you're able to take advantage of it. A$AP Rocky, he rocks these streetwear designs and the white and black ensembles, not only because it's something he can afford clearly with how much he's been able to make off rap in the last few years, but also because he's not afraid of what other people think on his styles. He lets his hair and whiteness in his teeth really define his look and contribute to his style. So with A$AP Rocky, one of the biggest things I liked about what he's been doing and what he's been working for is that, again, he just keeps true to himself. He doesn't like to go over the top with jewelry or anything. He keeps it simple. Like he said in an interview a few years back, keep it simple the same way you would when you're writing lyrics. You don't have to go too over the top because not as many people are going to understand it, and you're trying to appeal to a wider range of audience. Now, if that's your goal and you're not doing it for yourself, you're trying to sell fashion or promote a certain brand or anything in music, you do not want to cast a smaller net by making it so distinct and not making it as simple for people. Another thing he does very well is he dips his toes into different industries before he was fully into fashion. So I remember one of the first collaborations a few years back that A$AP Rocky did was with Calvin Klein. A lot of you may have remembered when Justin Bieber was with Calvin Klein as well. A$AP Rocky did and still does a lot of Calvin Klein collaborations. And when you do that, it allows you to meet and engage and interact with a lot of different people in that same sphere so that you're able to get great ideas for yourself. And it established a profile for A$AP Rocky of being someone who knows his fashion and can look well in modeling himself. That is something that I've also seen with other people in hip hop to this day. Jaden Smith is a great example of this. He is able to model for different brands, different societies, and also create his own thing, very similar to what A$AP Rocky was able to do. So he's a great influence and a great inspiration when it comes to people who want to stay streetwear, but also can go really well formally. And it's something that I feel was inspired from how P. Diddy was able to do this before him, creating Sean John, making it luxurious, but also bringing out streetwear pieces for people as well. With that in mind, why I love A$AP Rocky is that he was able to take what he did in the hip hop industry, and despite not being able to release an album since testing, and all we've gotten recently was Babushka Boy, we're still able to get someone who is focused on growing himself as a person, and he's been able to put all he wants into fashion, and he's doing what makes him happy. That is why I love A$AP Rocky, and I look forward to seeing what he's able to create in the future. And you can't really ignore what he's been able to do with his own aesthetics. He's really created his own path in that sense, where a lot of people try to copy it. And again, you can do very well in that sense. You know, a lot of his pieces, the way that they look, are simple enough to where you can make your own version of it without having to completely end up broke. So because of that, it makes it easy to imitate. And that's another great thing. He keeps it very close to his fans. He doesn't keep to super expensive pieces that not many people can emulate. And at the end of the day, that is, in a nutshell, why I love A$AP Rocky. And I hope one day to be able to share with him some of my designs so that then he can, maybe find something he enjoys from there. So for this video, like, comment, subscribe. If you look forward to seeing more of the Why I Love series, they are coming. And I appreciate all that you've been able to do as far as watching these videos and subscribing, and also share them with anyone who's a fan of A$AP Rocky. Share them with anyone who's a fan of anyone else I've covered so far. And give me any ideas you might have for any other great content. Again, this is Braden Schwab at The Works. Like, comment, subscribe, and see you next time. Bye.